Hi guys, this is Lashette from Scarlet Moon Creations, and I'm back with a new video. I'm not sure what to call this. I'm comparing my Oracle deck's keywords. Now, this is kind of spur of the moment. I've got like 5 videos I've already filmed that I need to edit, but this has been on my mind lately thanks to this new Oracle deck, Sacred Destiny Oracle. And like I was feeling anxious about comparing it to some of my other oracles, and I was like, you know what? There's also the idea of having content and consistent content or whatever. It was just like, when you do things like this, why not film it? But it's late. Not super late, but late enough that I don't feel like clearing off the table I usually film on for this kind of thing. So I've got a reading cloth here, and I'm like on my bed. So yeah. Anyway, this all came because of the Sacred Destiny Oracle. Now, I don't know when this video is gonna go up, but I have recently, in the last month, filmed and uploaded the walkthrough of this deck, my first impressions and walkthrough, and I've also already filmed but not edited or uploaded a pairing video playing with pairs, VR to Dawn Michelle Tarot. But yeah, so this deck has been on my mind since I got it. And when I talked about it in my first impressions, I was like, I don't remember why I had this deck on my wish list. I don't hate it, but I'm not sure what to do with it. I've done a couple of readings, but like 1 or 2, and then I've had what do you call it? One of the things I've read in the guidebook was about using it for dream interpretation, so I've done that a few times. But yeah, it's just been on my mind. What do I use this deck for? What did I want to use this deck for? I might make a discussion video about this, but Tarot Tube kind of makes me anxious and whatnot. Part of that is, my mental health, but also it's just before looking at Tarot Tube, I just use my cards. However, and whether it was barely at all or every day, several times a day, I didn't have like a system. I didn't really keep track of my readings and things like that. And while I like Tarot Tube for helping me figure out, learning some new decks and finding some new decks that fit me, I also get irritated, not directly at, my fellow YouTubers, but at myself and, the need there is now to find content, but also to have a deck for every purpose. And yeah, so I'm not gonna dwell on that. I don't even know if I'll keep that part in here. But anyway, so not sure what to do with this deck. Like, I understand the words, the explanation Denise Lynn has for the purpose of this deck, but I don't know that I care to work on figuring out my sacred destiny. So, that being said, another thing is I once upon a time had more oracles than tarot. At this point in time, I have more tarot than oracles. I don't have more than 30 decks, so let's start there. And it's not a whole lot more. I may have like 2 or 3 more tarot decks now than I do oracle. So that's how outnumbered they are. But because of watching Tarot Tube, I've realized some things about tarot that made people having all of these different tarot decks when it's basically the same system make more sense to me. I liked Oracle because they're completely different each time. So I was like, well, if I have a couple of tarot decks, then that's all I need, because I don't need the same 78 cards a bazillion times. Right? And this is for using tarot as a divination tool, as a spiritual tool, that kind of thing. Not just for collecting our artwork. No shade to that. That's a whole separate conversation that, but I don't have the money for just collecting for collecting's sake. So there's that. Maybe one day. But being more in tune with tarot and taking the time to be more in tune with newer tarot decks in my collection, I haven't been using my oracles nearly as much as I used to. And now the whole idea of pairing is a thing, and I've heard of that, but I didn't realize how big of a thing it is for many people, where they don't even use their oracles unless it's with a tarot card or a tarot deck. So yeah, I'm just explaining my realizations with Tarot Tube here. But anyway, so I have this deck, and because of this journey in the past like 3 or 4 years, or it might be 6 years this January, since starting posting tarot divination content, tarot oracle content. But Jesus, why is everybody doing things now? Anyway, in this time, I've shifted to using tarot more, even if it's just studying and practicing. And now whenever I get a new oracle deck, I'm like, wait, what do I use this for? If it's not obvious, like the Moonology cards, I am a practicing witch and Wiccan, so moon phases and that kind of thing is important to my practice. So of course I would use the Moonology cards for a moon practice spiritually. But I don't need a deck. I don't need a bazillion decks for a spiritual practice. Like it's all spiritual. For years, and I mentioned this, but I don't know if I've made it clear. For years, I just had these guys, and I think one other deck, which is not here. And these two are the Fairies Oracle and the Heart of Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. I felt they covered everything. And this has washi tape on the bottom because I was studying it and covered up the names to just do video study. But yeah, so these are different. And the next, I think, oracle deck I got that I have here, and I'll explain why I have these specific ones here, not a couple of others, is this is the Color Mage Oracle, and I hope you can see. Oh yeah. It's hit or miss with this deck whether I can film it in a way that really shows the colors, but I think this is doing pretty good. Like, and you can see I've used this deck. This is an indie deck, and I love it because I love color and love working with color, and I have like my own personal associations with color, and it was interesting seeing the creators' associations and dealing with my own. And I got the Soul Trees Oracle, and I love this, But when I tried to work with it in a similar way that I did the Fairies Oracle cards, I ran into some issues. This was the first deck I ran into, Oracle deck, where I couldn't just understand it in a immediate way. Some of the cards are more obvious than others, but it's more the just having big spreads and, you know, seeing how the cards relate to each other within a spread to tell that story, to answer the question. It took me a while to realize it's because of the type of Oracle deck it was. This was the first of its kind like this. And I realized that the Sacred Destiny cards are similar. So now that I've taken forever to get to the point, this is what happens when you do like a random video at night without some kind of planning. So the thing about the Sacred Destiny Oracle is that it is a one-word keyword deck. Now there is details in the guidebook, but if we're just looking at the cards, we're just pulling a card, you got one word and the image, and it's a whole intuitive process, as Oracle cards are, and I'm not foreign to that observation, but it's been a while. And I realized I had stopped using the Soul Trees Oracle very early on because of it being similar in that manner. It's one image, one keyword. Sometimes there's a phrase like this one, heal, heart, and spirit, but quite often not. And I hate when there's glare on the cards, but guys, please just deal. I wanted to compare these to see if there are similarities in the keywords in these decks. That's why I pulled these all out. And before I get to that though, right, these two are similar, having those one word keywords, right? And whenever I find myself questioning, what do I do with this Oracle deck now? What I do is run to YouTube to see, what do other people do? I must have watched Lisa Poppins' How I Use My Oracle Cards videos a million times because I forget. But I'm trying to remember my Oracle card reading practice, basically. But yeah, so I've pulled out most of my Oracle decks that have a keyword on them, and that is not very specifically themed. So I have like 3 or 4 others, but one is like an affirmations deck, and I know that's the only one I have. I'm thinking about getting more. Another is specifically for magic, and it has a keyword and phrase like these do. So this is going to be, let me find a darker card. Okay, so it says Neptune, but also voice of your muse. The shadow shift says myth and magic. Right, but the way these are written on here, and I know it irritates some people, is that you can ignore these. Like, the color is the main thing, and then the phrase you can ignore. And in some, like this one, you can barely even read the colors, so you can ignore that. And I think that was done on purpose because like myself, many of us have our own color associations, and they don't match up with what's on here. So new time, inner calm and balance. I wouldn't look at this shade of green and think that, but I can see it. Dragon, power and legacy. I can see that. Tangerine, anticipation and excitement. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with this. So not a single keyword, but a color, which the color names could spark something, but quite often they don't. And I guess similarly, this is one of 2 astrology decks, or is it 3? 2 astrology decks that I have, and I don't pull these out very often for regular readings, but I want to, especially this deck. This deck, I've modded the Black Moon astrology cards. So we have the name of the card, or the astrological thing, and then a keyword. So similar, blessings from a grand trine, Venus, love, Cancer, I feel, 11th house, friends, 12th house, escape, 5th house, creativity, moon, soul, air element, communicating. So I guess these 2 are somewhat similar. I don't want to keep taking this in and out, but having a single keyword, but also either a single identifying word, and then also a keyword and or short phrase. Obviously, you can use this for studying astrology, but I like this one because you can also use it as just an oracle, not necessarily astrology related. Then, of course, also somewhat similar, but different enough, we graduate to, for me, the Moonology cards, which have full phrases on them. So the moon phase, but also a phrase, so you can use these as an oracle deck. So I guess this is another set of astrology cards. Moon specific. What do you need to release? The end is a tough cycle approaches. You're very close to achieving your goal. So that gives you a little bit more, I think, in my opinion, than just the single keywords. And this is technically the only oracle I have like this, where the keyword or the phrase is not specific. I guess, as Lisa would say, it's expensive. With like my Making Magic cards, the phrases on them are very specific to making magic. And that's what I picked them for. So there's no other purpose for them. Now, for the Heart of Fairies and the Fairies Oracle, these are completely different because the words on them are titles. So the Queen of Hearth and Home, the Shadow of the Past, the Elven Knight, Queen of the Day, the Fixer, the Smith. Now, again, I've had these for a long time, so I don't have a problem reading with these. The artwork does a lot for me, and I've gotten to the point where with these and with the Fairies Oracle, this is the Heart of Fairies, if I didn't say that earlier. Please excuse the glare. This is covered up. Like, I know what intuitively these say to me, usually, but sometimes it switches up, and that's okay. but it's still like a phrase that's more of a title. The undressing of a salad. This is Oh That Gnome. This is the Maiden. The Dark Lady. So, how I read with each of these does depend on the keyword. I don't have any of those decks that have a whole lot of text on them. I've thought about it. I know the ones that are really popular are the angel ones though, and I don't care about angels, so I don't want one of those. But I'm thinking about getting them. So I know that these two decks are not gonna have any similar keywords, though they might have similar energies, and I might do another video comparing those. This might wind up being a little bit of a series. We'll see. This is done on kind of a whim, an anxious whim. And it's already been 21 minutes. And I know the Moonology deck is going to have too much. Like, it's full phrases, so it's not going to say something similar to the Sacred Destiny Oracle, right? And I see people talking in their videos about, oh, good keywords, good keywords. I've never picked an Oracle deck based on the keywords. I might compare Sacred Destiny with this. We'll see. And maybe this. But does anyone, before I continue, does anyone catalog like their, in any way, shape, or form, their Oracle decks to see what keywords each have, so you're not getting the same ones in each deck, if that's important to you? So after all of this, what I want to do is compare the keywords on the cards for both of these. Now, this is a flimsy deck. And if I had planned this ahead of time, I would have had the cards in order and all of that jazz. But I don't. So we're going to do this the easy way and look through the two guidebooks, because they're both in alphabetical order. The Sultry's Oracle just has this, and she writes in here that she didn't want to put too much information for each card so that you can read intuitively, right? You figure it out what it means to you. With the Sacred Destiny Oracle, we've got a little more hand-holding, if you will. I don't mean that in a derogatory sense, but in a way that is more helpful. The art style in the Sacred Destiny Oracle is obviously more diverse as well, and that's, like, you know, that doesn't make one better than the other. So I'll come back, and after looking through these two and seeing what cards are the same and how I feel about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you are new. Hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming. It'll be the comparison of these two decks. And, well, the next, probably tarot video, because I'm going to film that right after this. But, leave me a little landscape emoji in the comments down below if you want to support but don't know exactly how yet. Share this video with your friends and family and amongst tarot tube if people have thoughts and ideas. These are late night anxiety induced questions I have for myself and whatnot. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you're looking forward to my comparing my Oracle decks, because why not? And links in the description to my Etsy shop where I make all natural bath and body products, and I do offer readings with Oracle and tarot cards if you would like. Links to my social media if you'd like to follow me on any of those, and to all of these decks. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.